term TERF, an acronym for Trans-Exclusionary Radical Feminist, refers to a subset of feminism that excludes transgender women from its understanding of womanhood and seeks to prioritize cisgender women's experiences over those of transgender individuals. This movement, while claiming to advocate for women's rights, poses significant dangers not only to the rights of trans individuals, but also to the broader goals of feminism itself. By analysing the implications of the TERF movement, we can understand how its ideologies threaten the progress made in gender equality and the protection of marginalised groups. Erosion of solidarity among women. One of the cornerstones of feminist movements historically has been the solidarity among women, regardless of their backgrounds or identities. The TERF movement creates divisions within the feminist community by positing that transgender women are a threat to cisgender women. This exclusion undermines the collective struggle against patriarchy and gender-based oppression, as it perpetuates a hierarchy of womanhood that emphasizes one group's experiences over another. This form of feminism can alienate transgender individuals and their allies, fragmenting a movement that should be unified in its fight against gender-based discrimination. Promoting misunderstandings about gender. The TERF ideology relies heavily on a binary understanding of gender, framing it as strictly linked to biological sex. This perspective overlooks the complexities of gender identity and expression, which are not solely defined by physical characteristics. By ignoring the nuances of gender, the TERF movement perpetuates misinformation and stigma surrounding transgender individuals, fostering an environment where discrimination and violence against them can flourish. This harmful rhetoric not only affects trans rights, but also limits the understanding of gender for all women, reinforcing restrictive and outdated views. Legislative and social backlash. The TERF movement has been linked to various legislative efforts aimed at restricting transgender rights, such as proposals to ban transgender women from participating in women's sports, access to healthcare, and inclusion in women's spaces. These actions are not only harmful to trans people, but they risk having broader implications for women's rights as well. When societies begin to prioritize certain groups' rights over others, it sets a dangerous precedent that can lead to increased discrimination and marginalization of already vulnerable populations. Furthermore, the rhetoric employed by TERFs often mirrors the language used by conservative groups attempting to roll back reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and other hard-won civil liberties. By aligning with these regressive narratives, the TERF movement inadvertently jeopardizes the rights of cisgender women as well, as it shifts the focus away from common struggles against gender-based violence, economic inequality, and reproductive justice. Mental health and safety implications. The stigmatization and exclusion faced by transgender individuals as a direct result of TERF ideology can have severe implications for their mental health and overall well-being. Transgender people experience higher rates of depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation compared to their cisgender peers, and contributing to this hostility exacerbates an already vulnerable population's struggles. A movement that dehumanizes a group of people under the guise of protecting another does significant harm, ultimately undermining the feminist aim of promoting safety and well-being for all women. Conclusion. A call for inclusive feminism. The TERF movement's exclusionary practices pose significant dangers to both women's rights and trans rights by creating divisions, perpetuating misunderstanding, and fostering an environment ripe for discrimination. Feminism must be inclusive and recognize the diverse experiences of all individuals who identify as women, including transgender women. The movement must unify its efforts to combat gender-based oppression in all its forms, focusing on collaboration rather than division. Promoting an inclusive feminist perspective is crucial for achieving true equality and justice for all individuals, regardless of their gender identity. In an increasingly polarized world, solidarity, empathy, and understanding must guide the path forward for both women's rights and trans rights.